Yo guys, what's going on? Sam here. The Apple news is finally coming in again. It's been a little bit slow. We've been in a bit of a drought, and I've been practically out of a job. But over the past 24 hours, we've heard the 2019 iPhone naming scheme leak from a super reliable source and a look at the 2019 iPad Pro along with the new 2019 iPad 7. They are going to get some crazy camera bumps like the iPhones that are coming out in September are going to have as well. If you guys are looking forward to today's update, drop a like down below. Always helps me out, and hit subscribe so you stay up to date on the latest Apple news. Let's go ahead and jump in. So iPhone naming is always really tricky because everybody thinks they're gonna nail it, myself included. I've been switching between the XI Roman numeral for the iPhone 11 and also just like iPhone 11 11. And at this point, well, at least up until yesterday, nobody really knew for sure what direction Apple was going to go. But over on Twitter, a leaker by the name of CoinX, I know guys, this looks like the sketchiest account I've ever seen in my life. I would never trust it until you look at the previous tweets. The person behind this Twitter account is batting 1,000. They are 100%. Everything they've ever said has come true. That's because they're not tweeting all kinds of random stuff. They only tweet when they have concrete information, and take a look at this information. Looks like the iPhones in 2019 could follow the Pro nomenclature that Apple has found, love with for every other product. And it's going to be the triple lens iPhone that gets this name. Obviously, they're probably going to do regular iPhone 11, which is going to be like the second generation iPhone XR. And then I think they're going to do iPhone 11 Pro for the iPhone 11 5.8 inch and iPhone 11 Pro 6.5 inch. I feel like Apple might drop the Max naming already just because it was always kind of weird. Like, why didn't they just stick with Plus? And this is something that I think we've heard for a long time. I just never thought it would actually end up happening. But yeah, the iPhone 11 naming, which the same leaker leaked 10S, 10R, and 10S Max before anybody else said that. They're calling it for this year, and it looks like one of the models, at least probably the one with the triple camera setup, is going to be called iPhone Pro. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the Pro naming down below, because I feel like Apple just loves to slap that on everything, right? Because we have MacBook Pro, and that mostly makes sense. We have Mac Pro, that makes a ton of sense. But then we've got iPad Pro, which is just like a really good iPad, but I don't exactly think it's an iPad for professionals. And I'm going to say the same thing about the iPhone. Like, yes, the iPhone 11 with 3 cameras is going to be not for like the average user. They don't need that. But I also don't think it's going to be for professionals working in their field. I think it's just gonna be a really good iPhone that looks the same as the iPhones for the past 5 years. And Apple's not done with that design on the iPhone, because a recent report from Mac and Takara indicates that Apple will actually be doing the same thing with not only the next iPad Pro, that's getting a triple camera setup, but on the next iPad, the 10.2 inch iPad 7 that we've seen leaked. Apple has confirmed that it is coming out in the very near future, but we haven't really seen what it's going to look like. I thought it was going to be on the lower end, more of a budget iPad, but apparently it might not be if it's going to get this dual camera setup that Mac and Takara has suggested. Now, release dates for the new iPhones, obviously September of 2019, but these new iPads now said to be in production very soon, but releasing to everybody in October of 2019. So I guess to sort of standardize the lineup here, Apple was like, hey, if you hate the camera bump in your iPhone, then why don't you just hate it on literally every product that we make? Now, in all seriousness, I know we're gonna get used to it. I don't honestly think it looks that awful. Like, I'm not gonna not buy a phone because of how the back of it looks, but it is a bit strange that Apple is taking this design philosophy of the square camera bump and applying it to all the stuff that they make. It's just something that I wasn't expecting, because we've never seen an iPad with 2 cameras on it, let alone 3. And Apple said to be making those jumps to 2 dual and triple camera setups on both the next versions of the iPads. Now, Mac and Takara has made these mock-ups, and I think they look okay. Here's another render courtesy of iHelpBR, which is a pretty cool Apple blog that I follow. Again, I'll leave a link down below. And this sort of highlights and makes it look a little bit better, but it still begs the question, like, okay, on an iPhone, you take a lot of pictures, right? I take out my iPhone all the time and go, cha-ching, I just took a picture. But on the iPad, for Apple to do this now, yes, it will add some added benefit. It will have some functionality that you get more zoom or a telephoto lens. You do portrait mode really well, but I don't know if anybody is shooting portrait photography or seriously taking videos or photos on their iPad in any capacity that would even make this necessary. I can just see the roast happening already because, you know, it makes sense on an iPhone, something that's super mobile. But on an iPad, I don't exactly know. The AR application for augmented reality is there. Yes, having additional lenses does make the sensing more accurate, but you know, again, AR is sort of in this weird limbo right now where it's starting to take off, but it's also exactly where it was a couple years ago. One thing's for sure, Apple's loving the square camera bump, and this design is apparently not going away anytime soon. If you were hoping it would be a one-off trend for the 2019 iPhones, start looking at all of Apple's other products, and you're probably gonna start seeing the square camera bump there as well. Doesn't look awful, but it doesn't look great at the same time. So that's the latest that Apple's working on, guys. I mean, we're like less than a month away practically from the 2019 iPhones. Things are gonna start heating up. The fire, somebody's throwing some charcoal down now. Somebody else is getting ready to light it. Like, it's been slow this summer just because, you know, there hasn't been like these major changes to Apple's product lineup. But now the Apple Card came out. 2019 iPhones are around the corner. New iPads are coming out soon. Apple's got a lot of good stuff in the works, and I'm so excited for the future. So hit a like on this video if you enjoyed it. If you learned something new, hit subscribe so you stay up to date and don't miss out on what Apple's up to. So that's all I've got for you now. I've been Sam, and I'll catch all of you in my next video.